Hello everyone. I thought I would take a break from work. I'm starting to fall asleep. Monday. And yeah, just have a chat. I was just thinking, I was telling my husband the other day, like, hey, love, we're only like at 20 subscribers. How can we get our subscribers back? And he's like, okay, what is this YouTube channel for, Tolo? Is it really just to like share information, with Matrix? Because currently we're just loading the Matric content. Is it for that, or do you want subscribers? Do you want to start earning? And I'm like, it would be nice to start earning, but no, that is not my why. So basically, he was asking me like, what is your why? Got this YouTube channel, and I remember when we started it. The intent of starting it, right, was to, like I said, we're not doing tutoring full time. We have jobs. So in case we forget, especially with physics and especially chemistry, maths, you can wake me up any day, ask questions, I'll be there, but when it comes to physics and chemistry, I need to like always think about it and read up some more, or watch a video. And I was like, let us create these videos as a reminder for ourselves so that we stop having to read up all the time, just have a video there stored. And also YouTube was like a storage as well for ourselves, like we have it there. So it's only when you start seeing that people are actually consuming your content, and you've exceeded that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 hour watch time, and start earning, where you're like, oh wow, actually, yeah, money can be made here. But basically, yeah, what is my why? That is the video that that is what I want to talk about today. What is my why with regard to tutoring? And I just wanted to take it back. I think it's going to be like a 4-part series, where today I just talk about where this tutoring thing comes from. All right, so when I was in high school, my motivation for studying and studying hard was not only to maintain my level on the top 10, every grade, top 10, top 5, top 3. I wanted to be, top. So that was my biggest motivation, to actually study and do well in my grades. But another reason was to be able to explain to those who didn't understand. I enjoyed it. Like, if I understood something, I wanted to stand up and be like, let me explain it to you. This is how it works. I would get excited by knowing something and being able to explain it. So that was my thing. So when I started working then, anyway, that was high school. Then I got to varsity. And in varsity, we had these tutorials, right? There were physics tutorials, chemistry, I don't really recall. It was mainly physics. Then you had your maths, your calculus, and all of that. With the physics tutorials, we had designated tutors. So people who were studying, either doing postgrad or still in the undergrad, but were done with the physics, and they could tutor. So my tutor specifically, or in our time slot, sometimes I saw him coming unprepared, and I'm like, this guy, Mara. So I thought to myself, you know what, actually, I think I can do a better job than him, So I unfortunately failed a major in civil engineering, Barake SWK, strengths of material. That is a major. If you fail it, you sort of like, it adds a year to your program. So I was on the 4-year program, civil engineering at Tux. So this module, it blocked major modules, meaning I couldn't complete record time. All right, but but I don't have a fail in my report. There are ways of getting around that. I deregistered the module in time because I knew I wasn't gonna make it to the exam, so I deregistered on time to make sure I don't have a fail in my report and my overall average is not affected. Anyway, so in my 3rd year, instead of doing 16 modules, I only did 8, 4 per semester. And because I had all that time, I'm like, let me start doing the physics tutoring, because wow, when I did physics tutor, get go months how it's actually done. And that was my first experience with tutoring. And okay, it takes you being inside tutoring to see, okay, now I understand why that guy sometimes came unprepared, because even I ran out of time. But I loved it. I loved coming in, preparing, and showing the first years, this is how you do it, these are the answers, da 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 da. Anyway, varsity ended, I started working. And the thing has always been there. I thought to myself, how can I actually go back to help those who are struggling with maths and science? But I didn't have time until my uncle's wife, she was upgrading. She wanted to do pharmaceutical studies. Her maths and physics marks were not up to scratch. So she thought, yeah, let me just upgrade. And she wanted my assistance. But the problem is, this is my first year working. I'm traveling. That time I was using public transport. I'm leaving very early in the morning. I'm coming back very late. The only time that I have is like Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday, I mean, after leaving varsity, as friends, we're scattered. So Saturdays, we're trying to meet up. And Saturdays are busy. I was so busy. I really couldn't help her. I remember asking my aunt, because my aunt is a teacher. Rakadi. So Kamukopala for the textbook. I asked her for textbooks. I'm like, Rakadi, can I please have textbooks from grade 10 to 12? I'm thinking of tutoring, and I also want to help, Mosadiwa, Rangwane. And I had the resources, guys. Honestly, I did, but I just didn't have the time. And then my husband came into the mix. So when my husband came into the mix, he was like, we can actually do this, So this was 2015 when my uncle's wife needed assistance and I couldn't help her. She wrote, she didn't do that well. 2016 got married, and then my husband and I were decided to start with the tutoring. And I don't know, it was more structured with him, We actually started, I went to my old high school, Langenhoven High School. And I decided, actually I went with my friend Bongiwe. She was advertising for English and Afrikaans. I was advertising for maths at the time. I didn't think about physics. It's just as we began doing maths, obviously those who do physics do maths as well. So the math students were like, can't you guys do physics? And I was like, physics, I forgot. Yes, I tutored physics in varsity, but the varsity one is quite different from high school. And high school I need to learn chemistry again. I didn't do so well with chemistry. But what was my big why? So I think that's video number 1 for today. What was my big why? Why tutoring? Why? Where does that thing come from? It comes from having the ability to understand what is regarded as a difficult concept and trying to make it easier for another person to understand. That is where it stems from. And I love that. If I can understand the difficult concept and try to cut it down or break it down to a point where I can explain it to someone else, then I was like happy. And that was important to me because I realized that, that'll be another video, I realized that yes, I studied civil engineering, I studied engineering, but it's not really I mean, I'm working, it's 9 years now. It's not really a passion of mine. It's something that I'm skilled at, so you get people who really want to be in engineering because they really have the understanding and, not to say experience, but maybe let's say experience, but unfortunately they can't practice as engineers because you need the paper. And you get people like me who understand concepts, but theoretically, because that's what you need in varsity, right, to actually get through. Theoretically, but in the workplace, I struggle sometimes because practically, sometimes I've never really seen these things, but I'm designing it, So my other why is there are people who are skilled. Practically, they know what to do, but they just need that paper. And physics and maths is a barrier. And I want to come in and assist those people who have their why, the only thing standing in their wake in maths and physics. I get bored when I tutor people who have no vision, who are just there because mommy and daddy said, come, do tutoring. They have no self-motivation. I think, let me just put it that way. Not that I get discouraged or get bored when I have students who come in with no why. and I'm supposed to like inspire and motivate them. But like, what are we working with here? Why do you want to do maths and physics? What goal are we working towards? You want to pass. Why? What are you going to do with it at the end, you know? But anyway, we get we get different clients, and we cater to them, you know. So sometimes my client is not the kid, it's the parent. The parent has their why, so I'm like, okay, I'll use the parent's why to tutor these kids. But sometimes shame, yeah. You can see these kids have no motivation whatsoever, or they don't even know why they're coming here to do this maths and physics. And then now when there's no why, I get discouraged, because guys, let's be honest, I am not making a whole lot of money from this. So this is like a passion project for me, and which comes back to YouTube. So the YouTube channel was to save the video so that by the time I have a client and I need to just brush up on some things, I can quickly go through my video, because I understand what I was saying and what I was thinking, or my husband's videos or whatever, you know. So yeah, that's that for today. And yeah, we'll come back with more of these types of videos, and I hope those of you who are watching and those who have subscribed to our channel, I really hope that these videos help you to understand maths and physics, and I hope that you can get to a point where you're defining what your why is, because your why will inspire you to keep moving even through the tough times. Alrighty, ciao. Let me go back to work. 11 minutes and 40 seconds.